Okay, I've got to pin this on somebody, quick. I know. Yeah, that dope will do just fine.
Right. I'm Phoenix Wright, a defense attorney. I just earned my badge a few months ago, so I'm still a rookie. In fact, I'm beginning arguments and
Phoenix better not be late to this.
I'm here! Sorry if I worried you.
The trial begins at 10. I sure hope you're ready for it.
Yes, thank you for being here. I know how valuable your time is.
Of course. I couldn't take you under my wing and then skip out on your big day. You're finally leaving the nest.
Thanks.
Always so ambitious. This is a homicide case. Not many people would take one on for their first trial.
I know what I'm getting myself into, boss. But I had to take it, because I owe it to him.
To whom? The defendant?
Yes. Actually, I've known the guy ever since we were in grade school. He's part of the reason I wanted to be a defense lawyer in the first place.
Let's hope you can clear his name.
There's no way he's guilty. But how will I convince the judge? That's my client. Good old Larry Butts. He and I go way back, to say the least.
Nick, it's you! I didn't do it, I swear! Get your hands off of me, man! I'm innocent! Come on!
I believe you, Larry. This isn't your style. But your name's all over the papers these days. Not the kind of fame you've been dreaming of.
Okay. This guy inspired you to become a lawyer? You were serious, right?
Yes. It's a long story. He's weird, but deep down, he's a stand-up guy.
He seems to have trouble sitting down.
Butts has always been a cheeky one.
Don't forget, To argue a solid defense, you have to believe in him and his innocence.
Right.
This court is hereby in session. We have been gathered today to hear the case against Mr. Larry Butts.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Then let us begin with your opening statement, Mr. Payne.
Yes, of course. The victim went by the name Cindy Stone. She had a promising international modeling career. It was cut short one afternoon by an act of violence. Her beautiful face bashed in inside her very own apartment. Autopsy reports put the time of death between 4 and 5 p.m. We've identified this statuette of Rodin's The Thinker as the murder weapon, which I would like to submit to the court at this time.
Accepted. I say, that is quite a modern representation.
Didn't you just hear the lawyer guy? It's Rodin, not modern. And this was a gift I made for my girlfriend.
Do you mean you sculpted this, Mr. Butts?
The defendant's fingerprints were indeed all over the weapon, Your Honor.
Are you serious? No!
If you made it, your fingerprints would be all over it, you idiot.
Help me, Nikki! You gotta let me state my case, man. I can't hang for this.
The prosecution would now like to call Mr. Butts to the stand, Your Honor.
Very well. You may proceed.
Oh, yeah!
So bad luck, bad attitude, and no control of his mouth. You know how to pick him.
Hello, Mr. Butts. Now, is it true you'd recently been dumped?
Huh? That's a lie! We even had Stony Butts picked out as our celebrity name.
That has got to be the stupidest one I've ever heard.
She had kind of been ignoring my calls lately, and she stood me up more than a few times.
Sorry, but that describes a breakup almost perfectly.
I wasn't dumped!
So, I should take that to mean you were aware of her recent travels overseas?
She went on a trip without me? Of course. Where'd she go?
Let's have a look at her passport. It shows the victim returned from New York 1 day before the murder. We also found a photograph taken on this trip.
Huh? That's the Thinker.
Your Honor, I would also like to submit these items as evidence.
I'll accept them.
Hey! Hang on just a second, man. Who the hell took that picture?
The man with whom she was traveling.
Oh, hell no! She went on a
You're just giving them the rope to hang on, aren't you?
As you can see, he's mad with jealousy. So he had a clear motive, and he's obviously prone to fits of rage.
That is abundantly clear.
What? Ah! I'll admit, I'm passionate, but I'm no murderer.
I have one more question for you, Butts. Is it true you visited her apartment on the day in question?
Did I? I don't know. Huh? Oh.
Wow, this Butts guy cracks under pressure, doesn't he?
You don't recall, huh? That's fine, because I know you were there that day. I can place Mr. Butts at the scene that very afternoon, Your Honor. If it pleases the court, the prosecution would now like to call upon our eyewitness to take the stand.
They have a witness?
Order! Order in the court! Bring the witness to the stand.
Hello.
This is where things get real. Good luck.
Hello.
Who is this guy?
Sir, would you please state your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Frank Sawit, and I sell newspaper subscriptions.
Mr. Sawit, to the best of your recollection, please tell the court what you saw the day of the murder.
Yes. That day, I was going on door-to-door sales calls, as usual, when I saw a man slinking out of that poor young lady's apartment. Yes, that man sitting right behind me now.
Larry, you should have told me you were there.
He left the door open, so I looked inside to make sure things were okay. Needless to say, things were far from it. I saw the victim lying in a pool of blood. I was too terrified to enter the apartment, so instead, I rushed over to a nearby payphone to call the police. This all happened around 2 o'clock, by the way.
At 2?
Why use a payphone? Was there not one closer to the scene?
Yes, but unfortunately, due to some utility repairs, there was a scheduled blackout in the area from 1 to 6. So he couldn't use it.
The phone would be completely inoperable.
A blackout?
There you have it. The motive, weapon, and a witness placing butts at the scene.
Is something wrong?
No.
Now, Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, you're up, Phoenix. If your friend Mr. Butts is clean, the witness must have lied in his testimony. Compare what he said to the evidence. There's bound to be a contradiction somewhere. Find where that is.
I will.
Good. You have everything you need to win this case. So do it.
I've got this. Here we go. The witness is lying, Your Honor. In fact, there was a glaring contradiction in his testimony.
Oh? And just what exactly would that be?
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is if we all put our thinking caps on, I bet we could figure out what it is pretty quickly.
It's not a joke. You do have a brain, don't you? So use it.
Yeah, of course. The autopsy. It's in here. All right.
So, if you're ready to proceed, your witness.
You say you found the body at 2 p.m. Are you absolutely certain of the time?
Yes, without a doubt.
But according to the autopsy report, the victim died sometime after 4 p.m. It's right here in black and white. There it is. A clear contradiction.
Oh!
Bravo. Brilliantly done, Phoenix.
How do you respond, sir?
Oh, well, it's because I heard the time being announced inside. My guess is it was the TV.
Yes, of course. Makes perfect sense.
Wait, does it? There was a blackout that day, all afternoon. So the television couldn't have been on at the time you stated.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid it must have been the clock I heard instead. That fancy table clock.
I don't follow.
You know, the one that he used to kill that poor young woman, right there.
Sorry for the confusion, Your Honor, but this is indeed a clock. Twist the neck, and the thinker will clearly announce the exact time.
Pretty awesome idea, don't you think?
Does he ever think? Just twist the neck and it tells the time. Saw it! You haven't been telling the truth. Recall your earlier testimony.
I was too terrified to enter the apartment.
You could only know this was a clock if you heard it announce the time. That means you did hear it when you were inside the apartment and twisted the statue's neck when you used it to strike the victim.
I think it's 2 o'clock.
Hearing that must have been quite a shock at that moment. And the time was burned into your memory. Right? Is that the truth?
Well, sir, how do you respond?
I can explain it, I swear! You got nothing on me! I saw it with my own 2 eyes, so stop with all these false accusations! He was the one who killed her!
Order, please! I will not tolerate such outbursts! Mr. Wright, do you have any way to prove that the witness did in fact hear the clock announce the time that day? It's mere speculation at the moment.
Well, let me think.
It's simple, really. All we have to do is cause the clock to sound, right here and now.
Yeah.
I think it's 9:25.
That is certainly a bizarre way to announce the time,
It's totally awesome! I'm the voice of the thinker! Ah!
but I'm sorry to say it doesn't prove anything one way or another.
9:25. Mr. Payne, what time is it right now?
Let's see. 11:25.
So the clock is 2 hours slow.
Recall that Mr. Sawitt's testimony was also 2 hours off, which is definitely no coincidence. Because what he heard was the very same clock I'm holding!
Yeah, that's one crazy story you got there. But it doesn't matter one bit if the clock is running slow today, because you can't prove that it was running slow on the day of the murder. Well, got an answer for me? Take that, smart guy! There's no way that you can prove it! So that means you've got nothing on me, pal!
Come on, Phoenix.
Mr. Wright, can you prove it?
This is your make or break moment.
I'm so close to the truth. I can't fail you now.
Objection!
If you have nothing further, I have no other option than to release Mr. Sawit from the stand.
I take time out of my day to relive this horrible experience and you call me a murderer? You might want to reconsider your career, Mr. Wright.
I'm sorry, Larry. I tried.
Thank you for your time. This concludes the defense's cross-examination of Frank Sawit.
Hold it!
Boss, what is it?
You were laughing earlier, but now is the time. At the moment when things seem the most desperate, that is when we laugh. Don't give in to despair. Believe in the truth.
Defense team, is there something you'd like to share with the court? This is your final chance, so speak up.
Truth is, I have no idea how to prove the clock was slow that day. Come on, think, Phoenix.
You've got to turn your thinking around.
Wait, what?
Look, we think the clock is wrong. But ask yourself this question. Could it actually be right?
2 hours. 2 hours.
Well then, it would seem the defense has nothing further to say after all.
I got it! 2 hours!
This concludes the cross-examination.
Objection! The reason the clock appears to be running 2 hours slow is this. Right here.
Yeah? How does that picture prove anything?
Think about it for a second. Time is relative. It depends on where you are, and according to her passport, the victim had just been overseas. The time difference between Japan and New York is 14 hours. So when it's 4 p.m. here, it's 2 a.m. there. 2 is 4.
That's 2 hours difference.
The victim took the clock with her on her trip, but she hadn't reset it to reflect local time yet. That's why the time you heard was exactly 2 hours off. The truth is, Sawit did it!
Arrest Mr. Sawit immediately!
Posing as a newspaper salesman, Frank Sawit had been burglarizing homes while the residents were away. But this time, the victim returned while he was still there. Cornered, he grabbed the statue and...
I think it's 2 o'clock.
Order in the court! Now, Mr. Wright,
Yes?
I must say you've done an incredible job today. In your first trial, you defended your client and discovered the true culprit.
Thank you. It's my job, Your Honor.
And now, it's time to deliver the verdict. Not guilty!
The rookie beat me!
Well done, Phoenix. I'm proud of you.
Thanks for the help, boss. It means a lot to me.
I hereby declare this court adjourned!
You're the best, man! I owe you my freaking life!
Said he'd do anything for Harry Butts.
Sorry, but the name's Larry?
Oh, forgive me, Larry Butts.
It's cool. It happens all the time. Thank you! Yeah, thanks! I owe you big time, lady!
Hey, man. I was the one who saved your life.
Oh, I got it! A token of my gratitude.
Hold on, isn't this the murder weapon?
Oh no, that'd be creepy. It's exactly like that one. I had made 2 of them and kept one for myself.
Ah,
I'd love for you to have it!
yes, it would be an honor. I'll treasure it.
I loved her with all my heart and she was running around on me. My heart's broken, Nikki!
I'm
Yeah, I know.
not so sure about that. I honestly believe she still had feelings for you. The statue proves she did.
She did it! Nikki!
Just think about it. She took that clock with her on the trip, didn't she?
It was probably the only one that she had.
She traveled with that bulky one you made and took pictures with it?
I guess you're right. Hey, thanks a lot, bro.
It was a wild ride, but you really spread your wings and flew today.
I thought I was gonna crash and burn.
But you didn't. You won the case and saved your friend. All those people out there. So many of them are going through major struggles. And it's up to people like us to be here to help them. Don't forget that.
Right.
You had said earlier that Butts made you want to become an attorney?
He was part of the reason anyway.
I'd love to hear the whole story sometime.
Sure thing, boss. I think I left my bike back at the courthouse.
Oh dear.
We'll catch up later! And so, I ended my first trial with a decisive victory. Although I promised to tell Mia the story of what made me want to become an attorney, that was one promise I wouldn't be able to keep. Mia Fey, my mentor, was killed in her office one night. At the crime scene were a few clues: shards of glass, an unexpected murder weapon, and a dying message written in blood. I just want to know what these words mean. I know it's important. They've arrested Mia's younger sister for her murder? Why were you there? Did you really kill her? Find the contradictions. Believe in the truth. Next episode, Turnabout Sisters, first trial. Take that!